There's a special breed of gambler who rolls the dice in unproven oil and gas fields. He may lose time after time, but when he hits, he's going to hit it big. He's called a Wildcatter, and he comes in all sizes.
Energy for a stronger America.
Developing new oil and gas for America means going to greater lengths than ever before. In this Texas gas field, Exxon is going deeper.
And in this Louisiana rice field, a Wildcat gas well is also going deeper. It's the biggest venture this company has ever undertaken. Its name is
Taurus Petroleum.
Who?
Good afternoon, Taurus.
Taurus? Was that oil company?
Don't really know what it is. I'm not familiar with Taurus.
There are four of us. I'm Bill Broadnax, and I'm the president. There's Keith Barroos, who is the geologist. He's the vice president of the company in charge of exploration. There's Diane McBride, who is my personal secretary, but also the bookkeeper of the company. And then Sue Franklin out front, who handles all the telephone calls.
Good afternoon, Taurus Petroleum.
We're a small independent oil operator, trying to put a few drilling deals together every year and find some grease.
I'm Eric Severide. I'm surprised to realize that in 30-odd years of TV programming, I've never been involved in a program about business, about the inner dynamics and drama of any specific business. TV has all but neglected the subject. Yet Calvin Coolidge was not so wrong when he said the business of America is business. Certainly just about everything else could spoil and go soft. The arts, the press, sports, just about everything if business went truly bad. In fact, to thrive, those enterprises often have to become businesses. Today, any business is a lifelong struggle and a day-to-day gamble. The usual plot resembles the Hollywood script, boy meets girl, etc. Businessman sees fortune, businessman misses fortune, businessman gets fortune, sometimes. Over the next 13 weeks, we'll show you how some of these business dramas have unfolded. None is more relevant than drilling for oil and gas. Herewith, the story of a Wildcat gas well, time 1980, place Lafayette, Louisiana.
It's the biggest thing I've ever done in my life. How could I keep from being excited? If this one hits, and hits like we think it will, we will have found a whole lot of gas reserves. We will have been able to make ourselves a whole lot of money. We will have been able to prove to the group of people who invested their money with us that we know what we're doing. They're going to stay with us. That's going to allow us to drill a lot more wells with this same bunch of people. Everybody that knows that we make a discovery like this is going to say, these guys got something on the ball, let's go spend some money with us. Well, that's Glasscock Rig 64. That's the monster that's drilling our hole to 13,500 feet in the ground. It isn't a barn burner yet, but it sure as hell could be.
to find a barn burner. That's the challenge that drew Broadnax away from the majors into the ranks of the independent. He started with Humble Oil, now Exxon, in 1965, and founded Taurus in 1974. They've limped along ever since on an early discovery. He could make $100,000 a year with the majors, but draws little more than expenses from Taurus. Any profit is plowed back into prospects like this one, which could make him $30,000 a month for the life of the well. This could be the big one. It could find enough gas to heat all the homes in Detroit for a year. There's 6,400 feet more to total depth, to TD, 2.5 miles down. In 6 weeks, they'll know if the idea was sound, the geological idea. That's where the drilling of any well starts.
The prospect has a lot of romance to it. It's big potential. It's a deep well, 2 strings of pipe to get down to see the objectives. If we do have something there, we're looking at about $150 million worth of reserves.
It must be down there. After all, Exchange Oil and Gas of New Orleans hit it in 1978, down in what they call the Marge Tex sands. They've pumped 6 billion cubic feet of gas in 2 years. At today's prices, it could be worth $80 million. To Broadnax, it's a barn burner. And it's only 1 mile as the crow flies from the Taurus rig. In 1973, only 700 feet from where Taurus is drilling, Paul Hilliard's Badger Oil Company sunk a well. He was not so lucky.
Another dry hole.
The Badger well was abandoned, and so was another well. The Warren well hit salt water, but it did find a trace of gas above it. 2 dry holes, but they helped map the field. They found the same sands at different levels, so the formation must be tilted up. But gas and water stay level. If Paul Hilliard had only drilled deeper, they figured, he would have hit the same March-Tex sands that Exchange hit, but at a lower level. How could that be explained? The formations must have slipped along a fault. So they mapped in a fault. Now they would twin the Badger well, drill deeper, and hit the prolific March-Tex sands.
We've never done anything this big, this deep, and it's our first one, and we're excited about it.
Because if you've got the best idea in the world and you can't get a hold of the land, you can't drill the well. You've got to be able to put the land package together. You've got to be able to lease the land, farm the land in, buy it from somebody, share with somebody. You've got to be able to put the land package together.
So more than a year before drilling began, Broadnax hired landman Pee Wee Whitewing to secure rights from property owners whose land overlay the reservoir.
Being as you're familiar with all the people out here and related to most of them, if we could, if you'd mind taking me around to talk to all these people and determine what it could be leased for. And
I know they'll be only too willing to lease. That's money from heaven.
The 22 landowners settled for $100 an acre for the first year, $75 thereafter if the lease is renewed, and most important, a 1/6 royalty, almost 17 cents of every dollar of gas produced. For rice farmer Alex Brossard, it could mean $8,000 a month.
And it ain't bad to get. No hurricane, no bad weather. It's not like a crop. A hurricane comes through here and wipe out your crop. This year, I don't care how hard the wind blows, this black gold is coming out of that ground.
Once you own the prospect totally, then the next step is to go out and find investors who have intangible dollars, drilling bucks, big drilling dollars, who will believe in your geological idea and go along with you and buy an interest in your well and get it drilled.
At the moment, in the oil industry, there is a lot of money available for investing. There's a lack of good quality deals. And to get involved in a quality deal is basically you call your friends up.
Marline got us all pumped up and introduced us to a company called Energy Sources Incorporated, who we'd never heard of.
When you're evaluating plays, it's a funny thing, but you have a gut feeling from the beginning on a play that's good.
The next guy they showed it to us was a guy named Walter Werby, who represents Emerald Oil Corporation, and Walter committed to an interest in the deal.
The economics of the Gulf Coast, Texas and Louisiana, is approximately 3 times as good as it is in Canada.
And then Keith on his own went over to some of his friends here in Lafayette, to Aminol, USA, a big company here, showed them the deal, got them interested. They came over and looked at it, and they bought the rest of the deal.
But before we were completely sold, we went back and studied the data ourselves.
Marline, a New York-based fund for millionaires, would get 25% of the revenue. Energy Sources, a Dallas fund for $5,000 to $10,000 investors, 15%. Emerald, a Calgary, Alberta millionaires fund, 15%. Aminoil, a large independent in Houston, 20%. For putting the deal together, Taurus would get a free ride and 25%.
So within a week's time, we had the whole thing flanged up.
With the investors on board, Broadnax could hire this rig. The upfront work was done, the idea mapped, rights to 1,400 acres secured, the money committed. $2 million was at risk, with a potential revenue of $150 million. And so, the raising of the derrick signaled the end of 18 months of planning. The drilling would be in the hands of this man. They call him Cabbage. He's the tool pusher, the man in charge of the rig. Cabbage has been drilling for 12 days now, 3,000 feet more to total depth. It's a critical time. Before anyone makes a nickel, they have to drill through some high-pressure sands which could blow this well out. And there have been a lot of blowouts recently on the Gulf Coast.
Well, we usually watch it pretty close. We ain't never been on one. Come close sometimes, but it don't go out on us. We catch it before it does.
To catch a well before it blows out can involve some tricky engineering. It demands they know exactly where they are. And at the moment, Taurus is lost.
Something wrong, something's in error, we're off depth somewhere, or... This more or less has established our rate of dip from the Warren well.
Their daily log indicates they are 84 feet below where they should be and fast approaching the high-pressure sands.
We have to stay out of this.
All right.
You lose the well if you drill into that.
It was just such an unexpected pressure which blew out a Chevron well 40 miles away while Taurus was drilling. To counter such pressure, they use a heavy drilling fluid called mud. More ingredients are added to bring the mud up to the necessary weight. But to judge what mud weight to circulate downhole, it is crucial they know how far down they are.
You've got about a 10-foot discrepancy here, but it's kind of sort of academic.
What is this in here then, Keith? Is this straight lime or what?
In addition to the mud, further protection is needed to contain the pressure below. The hole has to be lined with steel casing. 2 miles of this casing is waiting to go down the Taurus well. It has to be set at precisely the right point. A year earlier, this Amoco well north of Baton Rouge, only an hour away, hit unusually high pressure at 15,000 feet and blew out. The hole was lined with steel casing, and the casing was filled with mud. But the mud weight wasn't enough, or the casing was set in the wrong place. Suits filed for damage total $100 million. This is why it is critical that Taurus find the exact spot to set its casing.
You're going to have to add another 100 feet to it. So instead of having a 10.8 casing point, we're looking at 10.9 to 10.950.
Which will throw you into this section in here.
We want to stay out of this sand here, because that sand we can't handle without protection.
Can you handle this right in here?
Yes.
One important indicator of where they are will come from paleontologist Ray Bain. He examines the fossils of microscopic organisms. They call them bugs. They are found in the rock being cut by the drill bit and circulated up by the mud. He's looking for the fossils that the old Badger well nearby found at the same depth. But Ray Bain, the bug man, can't find them.
Oh yeah, I'm concerned that I don't want it to blow out. I don't want it to cost them money if it blows out. I'm concerned that I want to be right, I want to be accurate. And if I'm not accurate, we're in trouble.
We don't know where we are right this minute, but we've got another couple of 100 feet to drill. We've got some more indicators coming. We've got a paleo man who's the best you can buy. He's going to be looking for his bugs. If we find his bug, then we're going to know where we are. We'll know exactly what to do then. We'll stop drilling. We'll log the well and run our protection pipe.
Hey, Bill?
Yeah, come in.
I think I found that doggone bug.
At 2 a.m., Ray Bain's 24-hour quest for a fossil is over.
Quite as bad a shape we thought we were last night.
Oh, fantastic.
They know now to stop the next day or risk a certain blowout.
Wonderful, wonderful.
At 10,900 feet, drilling stops, and they begin to set the protective casing. Mud weighted up to 17 pounds per gallon will circulate through this casing, enough weight to hold back the pressure below.
A lot of it. It's going to take us all night, maybe half of the day to next tomorrow to get through it.
Wild duck gumbo and sausage.
I've been working 24 hours a day since I was 25 years old.
I don't know whether to believe that or not. I know you get paid for 24 hours, whether you're working or not.
Like one time my boss caught me drinking a beer. And he said, hey, you ought not drink on the job. I said, well, if I don't drink on the job, when am I going to drink?
I love to cook, man. We cook turtles and loggerhead turtles and alligators. Anything you put your hand on, we eat it.
You like alligators?
Oh, you talk about.
Drilling resumes. 3 shifts a day, around the clock. 2,600 feet more to total depth, about 100 feet a day. But it should be routine now. There will be time for other things.
We got 1981 to think about. Got more deals we're putting together, more leases we're buying, more ideas to see if they'll work. Put it all together, raise some more money, and get ready for 81. Get after it. Oh, alligator, he's got 7 kind of meat on him. And all the meat is like a ribeye or anything else on it. and he's good eating. I make sausage with mine, and you can't ask for better sausage.
Monday we can go to Houston, try to sell some more deals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Well, I'll set us up over there and package everything up we got and, you know, grab our or whatever and go.
Okay.
Okay.
You eat snakes? I'll tell you one thing, it's good. It's like eating frogs. You eat frogs?
I'm going to go to New York in the spring and see what I can do up there.
I eat anything. I want to look into some things up there because I'd like to make a swing through the east and just see what we could come up with.
Deals and more deals, with drilling funds and other independents, like the one Taurus struck with Ammon Oil, and for the same reasons.
The reason we're investing in deals like this one with Taurus is because that's the way the oil business has gone. We used to look for 1 billion barrels of oil. We lowered our sights to 100 million barrels, 10 million barrels, and now we'll drill for 1 million barrels, or less even in some cases. It depends on the risks. And that's the future of the oil business. We're going to have to make a lot of small deals. The big fields are gone on the Gulf Coast.
72 feet to total depth. The well is drilling into the Marge Tech sands. It's the final day.
Hello, Keith?
Yeah, hello, Bill.
Yeah, listen, we're drilling about 12 feet an hour. Looks like another 6 hours drilling, 5 hours pulling out a hole, an hour rigging up.
They'll be pulling out of the hole that night. In the morning, they'll log the well, take the electronic soundings that will determine if there's pay in the sands.
So we should have everybody out there, like, say, what, 7 o'clock? That ought to be good. Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'd be plenty of time.
It's time to call the investors.
On line 3.
Hello, Walter. Bill Broadnax. We're going to have a log out of the hole probably around 6 a.m. in the morning. You guys need to get your stuff together and get on over.
Y'all sending Mike Smith? All right. Okay.
You know, if you send someone up here in the morning, you know, had them drive up early, they'll make it. At least you'll be here to see the log anyway. Bill, let me ask you a question.
All
Do
right.
you have any shows at all in that sand?
No, sir, not according to the mud logger. Not any at all, Bill.
No breaks that would show that you were in real good, clean sand, or?
Well, it showed good, clean sand, but it didn't have anything in it. Wasn't any gas to amount to anything.
Okay. Well, good luck and thank you a bunch, and we'll see you during the middle of the night or early in the morning.
Okay, fine.
Okay, if
Bill.
you need anything, call us.
Sure will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
All right.
Poot, poot, and repoot.
I've seen too many times when you drill through a sand like that. And
Well, all we can do is wait on the log now.
that's right.
We got no positive indicators at all. There's no sense in getting, you know, your lower lip fat until you see the log on the back.
That's right. Just because there's no shows in the sand doesn't mean that there's none.
Shit. If we'd had a tremendous gas breakthrough and a great show and it was kicking and everything else, everybody'd be just flying off the handle around here thinking we had really had something, you know.
Or we'd be in pressure.
Or we'd be in high pressure. And then you'd be scared to death that we'd lose the well. But
Usually when you drill a well this deep and you're going through a gas sand, and you won't see anything. You'll never even know it.
you can sit and speculate and speculate and speculate and do anything you want to do, and you're not going to know a damn thing until you get the log out of the hole. It's something everybody goes through, though. You sit here and bite buttonholes in your seat until you get that log on the ground, and then you can look at it. And it doesn't make a hill of beans about what you think or what you predict or anything else. You don't know nothing till you get the log. So we'll sit here and sweat till 6 a.m. and see what we got.
The final night, and it's ladies free at the Rimrock Lounge, favorite haunt of the Lafayette oil crowd.
Well, you get down the middle and you get down the boat. You kick off your shoes and you throw them.
You know, a roughneck got a bad life. He's always chasing women or drinking. That's the way it is.
After 2 months of drilling, the well is at total depth, 13,435 feet. It will take most of the night to pull the bit out of the hole and stack the drill pipe. The investors have been briefed, and they join the late-night vigil.
I wouldn't sell my interest. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow morning. We have to wait and see the logs. but it's up to this time, as from the data we have, it's a very good deal.
We're running more optimistic than the prognosis was. I'll feel a lot better when I see a log.
The deal that was presented looks as good or better than it was presented to us on paper, but that definitely does not guarantee that we've got a well.
Brother Phil and my other brother Jack, a belly full of beer and some Buddha in a sack. 16 kids in the front porch light, Louisiana Saturday night.
The last drill bit is pulled out of the hole. The rental tool suppliers and drilling crew have all been paid.
Get paid just the same. Either we make one or we don't make one. But I like to see them always make one.
$1,400,000 from corporate America, 24 millionaires, and 700 small investors have circulated down the hole and through South Louisiana. This is what keeps the Wildcatters at Lafayette swinging.
You get down the fiddle and you get down the boat. You get off your shoes and you go to the floor. You dance in the kitchen till the morning light. Louisiana Saturday night.
It's either going to be there or it isn't going to be there. And if it is, we're brilliant. If it's not, it's just another good shot that we made in a place where a well ought to be drilled.
It's morning, or perhaps the morning after. They've all gathered in the trailer to await the results. Woody Gray from Marline, whose recommendation got the others involved. Taurus geologist Keith Bruce. Bill Broadnax, who could personally make $30,000 a month if his estimates are right. Walter Warby of Emerald, and Mike Smith of Energy Sources. Walter plans to buy a string of racehorses with his $3 to $5 million profit. The logging instruments have reached the surface. Keith Bruce gets the results. He had some discoveries in years past, working for Ammon Oil and Dow Chemical. At Taurus, he's only known dry holes. 12 straight this year, and this is the last well of the year. Keith is hungry for a producer, and this one could make him $1 million.
Looks like we got a dry hole. Read it and wait. Yeah.
Pretty grim. Where's that 5-inch?
Where you gonna draw your fault on your mouth?
He's there. We just high and wet. We erased the one to the west.
Well, sure looked like it was there on the side.
It could still be there with just high and wet.
Or it doesn't cut the March checks.
Yeah. So we don't see. Jiminy Christmas. Piddly diddly dee. Mike, why didn't you make that sand come in on the way over here?
Well, on the road instead.
Get a couple of thoughts. Well, there goes your barbecue.
Did I wake you? Well, it's pretty grim in the marge.
It's all over. It's a write-off. The only thing left to do is to phone in the bad news.
It is, it's clean cut, a dry hole down there as you will ever want to fool with.
Well, I'm not going to tell them till Monday. I don't want them to have a bad weekend.
My optimism has faded naturally since with the results of the logging. But given the same set of data, we drill the well again.
We don't feel good at all. Nobody likes to drill a dry hole, but we all know that in this business you're going to drill dry holes. You have to drill dry holes to find oil and gas.
We've been 55 days out here drilling and a year and a half working this thing up. you know, it's like losing a baby or getting a divorce, or, you know, it's a tragedy. But it won't be for long.
We're going to be drilling some more. Not tomorrow, but in a week or so, we'll feel better and start all over again.
Tomorrow, you start thinking about where you're going to drill the next well. You forget this one.
Not going to buy any racehorses on this one, no.
Get after it. Get some more bits turning to the right. Can't find oil sitting on your butt.
Taurus began the year $300,000 in debt from purchase of new leases. In 6 months, Broadnax drilled 4 small oil wells, all producers. Keith Barrouse has had 4 job offers. To keep him, Broadnax upped his salary by 1/3 and raised his royalty interest in future discoveries. Walter Warby's Calgary Millionaires should break even in 1980 with 1 oil discovery and 4 dry holes. The High Rollers in Marline's high-risk fund should break even with 21 producers, 20 dry holes. With luck, they'll get 3 to 1. Energy Source's low-risk fund for low rollers has to date 8 producers, 7 dry holes. It could pay 2 to 1. In 1980, Ammon Oil drilled 101 Wildcat wells, made 44 discoveries, well above the industry average.
It's like the man said, when your old dog dies, go get another one.
A belly full of beer and some Buddha in a sack. 16 kids in the front porch light. Louisiana Saturday night. Well, you get down the pedal and you get out of the boat. You get off your shoes and you throw them in the floor. You dance in the kitchen till the morning light. Louisiana Saturday night. Come on,
This program was presented by WGBH-TV, which is solely responsible for its content.